John Titor is one of the most discussed figures in the realm of time travel lore. Emerging in internet forums around the year 2000, the story first gained attention when a user identifying himself as John Titor began posting detailed accounts of his life as a time traveler from the year 2036. Over time, his claims became central to countless discussions about the possibility of time travel, conspiracy theories, and the power of online myths. At its core, the case revolves around Titor's assertion that he was sent back in time on a military mission to collect an IBM 5100 computer from 1975, which he claimed was necessary to debug legacy computer systems in the future. His writings also included numerous predictions about global events, ranging from civil conflict in the United States to worldwide catastrophes. Supporters of Titor's story point to the specificity of some of his technical details, such as his knowledge of the IBM 5100's hidden capabilities. Skeptics, however, highlight the inaccuracies and failed predictions, arguing that the entire episode was an elaborate hoax. The story spread widely through message boards and later media coverage, cementing Titor as one of the most enduring figures linked to modern time travel speculation. Even today, his posts are analyzed for potential hidden truths or warnings. While the authenticity of the case remains unverified, John Titor's legacy continues to capture the imagination of researchers, skeptics, and enthusiasts alike. Andrew Carlssin is one of the most intriguing figures associated with modern time travel lore. His story first surfaced in 2003 through a report that quickly spread across news outlets and the internet. According to the tale, Carlssin was arrested by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission after turning an initial investment of only $800 into over $350 million in just a few weeks by making flawless stock market trades. The sheer improbability of his financial success fueled speculation that he possessed knowledge of future events. At the core of the case lies Carlssin's alleged confession. While under interrogation, he reportedly claimed to be a time traveler from the year 2256, insisting that his incredible profits were the result of future knowledge rather than insider trading. He is also said to have offered information about Osama bin Laden's location and a cure for AIDS in exchange for leniency, only adding to the sensational nature of the account. Supporters point to the bizarre circumstances and the sudden disappearance of Carlssin from public records as possible proof of authenticity. Skeptics, however, argue that the story originated from a satirical publication and was mistakenly reported as fact, making it nothing more than an urban legend. Despite widespread doubts, the tale of Andrew Carlssin continues to circulate online, often cited as one of the most convincing examples of alleged time travel. Whether fact or fiction, his name has secured a lasting place in discussions about mysterious financial anomalies and futuristic speculation. Rudolph Fentz is one of the most classic and puzzling figures in the history of time travel legends. His story is said to have begun in 1951 in New York City, when police reportedly discovered a man dressed in outdated 19th century clothing wandering confusedly in Times Square. According to the account, he was struck and killed by a car shortly afterward. What made the case extraordinary was the discovery of items in his pockets that seemed to belong to a much earlier era, including old coins, business cards, and a letter dated from the 1870s. None of these items showed any signs of aging, which deepened the mystery. Investigators allegedly traced his identity to a man named Rudolph Fentz, who had disappeared without a trace in 1876. The coincidence of his sudden reappearance decades later, combined with the physical evidence, led many to suggest that Fentz was a genuine time traveler who had somehow been transported into the mid-20th century. Supporters of the story cite the consistency of these details as evidence, while skeptics argue that the tale is purely fictional, pointing out that it closely resembles a plotline from a science fiction magazine story published in the 1950s. Despite doubts about its authenticity, the case of Rudolph Fentz remains a staple in discussions about temporal anomalies. Whether it began as fiction or fact, it has endured as one of the most compelling narratives suggesting the possibility of time slips and accidental journeys through time. Sergei Ponomarenko is a modern figure often cited in time travel discussions, with his story emerging from Ukraine in the early 2000s. According to reports, Ponomarenko appeared in Kiev claiming to be from the year 1958. What drew attention was his possession of an old-fashioned camera, which contained undeveloped film. When the film was processed, it allegedly revealed photographs consistent with the mid-20th century, including images of Kiev that matched the city's appearance decades earlier. The central claim is that Ponomarenko vanished under mysterious circumstances after being questioned by authorities. Witnesses suggest he left his accommodation and was never seen again, fueling speculation that he had returned to his original time. Supporters highlight the authenticity of the photographs and the oddity of his sudden disappearance as potential evidence of time travel. Skeptics, however, argue that the entire story is a fabrication, possibly created as a modern urban legend or hoax that later spread widely online. The tale gained momentum through television documentaries and internet circulation, quickly becoming one of the most cited modern cases of supposed time travel. Even without solid proof, Ponomarenko's account resonates with enthusiasts because it combines photographic evidence with the mystery of a vanishing individual. While no verified documentation supports the case, Sergei Ponomarenko's story endures as a chilling example of how time travel myths adapt to the modern age, blending traditional mystery with the power of contemporary media. Håkan Nordkvist is a Swedish man whose unusual account of time travel became widely known in the mid-2000s. According to his story, the event occurred in 2006 when he discovered a leak under his kitchen sink. While attempting to fix it, he crawled further inside than expected and suddenly found himself transported into the future. There, he claimed to have met his older self, 72 years old at the time, and the two allegedly spent several minutes together talking about life. The most striking aspect of Nordkvist's account is the video he presented as evidence. In the footage, he appears alongside an elderly man who closely resembles him, and the two show matching tattoos on their arms as proof of their shared identity. Supporters of the story often point to this video as one of the most unusual pieces of evidence tied to time travel claims. Skeptics, however, argue that the footage could have been staged with makeup, editing, or the use of an older actor, making it a carefully constructed hoax. The story spread quickly across online platforms and television programs, gaining attention for its combination of visual proof and the strange domestic setting in which the alleged time slip occurred. Although unverified, Håkan Nordkvist's case remains one of the more memorable modern tales of supposed time travel, illustrating how personal testimony and media can intertwine to create lasting legends. Noah, often referred to as Time Traveler Noah, is a modern figure whose claims gained international attention through viral internet videos in the late 2000s. He first appeared on YouTube, where he presented himself as a man from the year 2030 who had returned to the present day. Unlike earlier time travel legends, Noah's story unfolded in the digital age, where video platforms allowed his testimony to reach millions of viewers worldwide. At the center of his claims, Noah predicted technological advances, political changes, and even events related to climate shifts. He also subjected himself to a public lie detector test, which he reportedly passed, further fueling belief in his story. Supporters cite his confidence on camera and the viral spread of his predictions as reasons to consider him one of the most compelling modern cases of alleged time travel. Critics, however, note that his predictions were often vague or failed to materialize, suggesting that the lie detector test may not have been conducted under scientific standards. The story gained momentum as media outlets and online communities debated his credibility, with some seeing him as a hoaxer exploiting public fascination, while others believed he might be offering genuine warnings from the future. Regardless of authenticity, Noah's case illustrates how time travel stories have adapted to the internet era, where digital platforms amplify mystery and blur the lines between fact and fiction. Bielek is one of the most controversial and sensational figures linked to time travel lore. His story first came to prominence in the early 1990s, when he publicly claimed involvement in the alleged Philadelphia experiment of 1943. According to Bielek, he was part of a secret U.S. Navy project designed to make warships invisible to radar. He asserted that during the experiment, the ship USS Eldridge was not only teleported, but also caused him and his brother to be thrown through time. Bielek claimed that this experience transported him decades into the future, where he reportedly visited the 22nd and even the 28th century. He described a radically transformed Earth, featuring advanced technology, floating cities, and a dramatically reduced human population following catastrophic events. His accounts were detailed and often delivered in lectures, interviews, and books, which attracted both fascination and skepticism. Supporters view his consistency and vivid descriptions as signs of authenticity, while critics argue that his narrative borrowed heavily from existing conspiracy theories and science fiction tropes. The story spread widely within conspiracy and paranormal communities, cementing Bielek as a central figure in modern time travel mythology. Although no evidence substantiates his claims, his accounts remain among the most elaborate and imaginative tales of temporal displacement ever recorded. For many enthusiasts, Bielek's story serves as both a warning and a wonder, blending historical mystery with futuristic speculation.